Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to be going over some new details about the next series of Star Wars films. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee.
I have spoken.
Hello there to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that the bell is completely filled in, as this is the way you will never miss a new video the second it goes live.
Do it!
Alright, so before we actually get into it, I want to make a point to say that this is not episode 10, 11, and 12. That's not happening. I don't care what rumors you've heard. That's not happening. Okay, so this new info on the next series of Star Wars films comes from the Supreme Leaker himself, Mr. Jason Ward, over at MakingStarWars.net. He was very correct on a lot of his The Rise of Skywalker information, and he continues to bring us some new tidbits on The Mandalorian, and now he's bringing us some new information on this next series of Star Wars films. So, by series, he just simply means the next era of Star Wars films. Like we had the original trilogy, and then we had the prequel trilogy, we had the sequel trilogy, we have the anthology films, and now this next era of films. So, also another thing to point out is that it won't be in a series of 3, so it's not going to be like a trilogy. It's just going to be a next series. So I imagine it will be more esque to the way that Marvel does their films, where they just kind of had phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So this would essentially be its own phase of Star Wars, rather than its own trilogy telling this story in a 3-act play type of deal. It'll just be a continuous story. And this makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, Disney owns both Star Wars and Marvel. So it makes sense that they would structure it the same way, considering that the fact that Marvel films are just box office monsters and bringing in money for Disney. And if they apply that to Star Wars, I would assume it would work the exact same way. Okay, so this new series of Star Wars films will be taking place during this new era of Star Wars, which is what this series is going to be based around of, called the High Republic. Now, clarification, this is not the Old Republic, but a separate era. So don't expect it to be like the Knights of the Old Republic video games or any of the books or anything like that. This is going to be its own thing. Probably, I would imagine that if they ever do make Knights of the Old Republic canon in Disney, or I guess they are, but like a live action, it would probably be after this. The High Republic would be after that. Okay, important thing to note here is that this would be 400 years before the Skywalker saga takes place. So this would be 400 years before A New Hope. So this wouldn't be in any way related to any of the stuff that happened that we already currently know about Star Wars. This would be a deep dive back in terms of the new canon. So there would be tie-ins though, because Yoda would be around, because he's hundreds and hundreds of years old, 900 years old. So Yoda would be around, and at this point, 400 years before the Skywalker saga, Yoda would still be a Jedi at this point. And if they wanted to keep droids involved, they could still throw R2 in there. 3PO obviously couldn't be in there because this is 400 years before the Skywalker saga. Anakin made 3PO, so that would not be able to be a thing, but R2 could still be there if they wanted it to be. And I would expect new ships and building structures, not like the original trilogy or the sequel trilogy, but likely closer to the prequel trilogy style era where we have this kind of like utopian type of look to these buildings. And expect some more ships, don't expect any X-Wings or anything like that, but expect new ship structures, new building structures, all of this type of stuff. Another important thing to note is that this is not yet in production, so it could be canceled, it could be postponed, it could be renamed, it could be reworked, but the news to think that that won't happen is that this is tied in with Project Luminous, which will be kicked off by novels, comics, video games, etc. So this is going to be Project Luminous involves Claudia Gray and Charles Soule and a lot of other really good Star Wars writers who will be doing this. It'll be tied in, like I said, with the novels, comics, video games, etc. They're Project Luminous, and it's going to kind of build up to what this is going to be seeing. So that way we can familiarize ourselves with these characters before they get to be taken up to the silver screen. So once again, It's going to be called The High Republic. It'll take place 400 years before the Skywalker saga. Let me know what you guys think about this news with a comment down below. Are you excited for it? Do you think we'll see Yoda or R2? Personally, I hope we get Easter eggs to at least both of them, or at least Yoda and maybe see R2. But again, that's just what I want to see. Let me know what you guys think with a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.